First impressions. Have you ever met someone for the first time and automatically thought to yourself, I like the way they carry themselves? Or maybe you thought the exact opposite and thought, I would want to be friends with them if they were the last person on earth. Well, either of those thoughts were based on that person's first impression they had on you. When you meet a person for the first time, dressed all shabby and with no makeup on and their hair all messed up, what do you think? Well, I personally would not want to be in any type of friendship with that person based on that single first impression. Well, maybe I wouldn't take it to that extreme. But there are people out there that would make that blunt impression off of that one encounterment alone. Even though first impressions are possible to change for some people, the first image you see of someone is never forgotten. Their values and beliefs can affect those initial thoughts on that person, and the first time you meet a person sets the tone for any future interactions with that person. First of all, when you meet a person for the first time, the first image is a bold statement in your mind. For example, when you meet a person so early in the morning that a person has not dressed luxuriously and probably has that droopy morning look. Maybe they're on a morning person, or maybe they didn't get that much sleep that night. Raise your hand if you are not a morning person, or grumpy before your morning coffee, or don't like to be bothered before 9 a.m. Don't be ashamed, because I'm not a morning person myself. To anyone that raised their hand, including myself, if someone met us early in the morning, they probably won't want to be friends with us either. So you got to give them a chance and see how they are after they have their morning coffee. Another way, as humans, we like to base first impressions off of is how a person is dressed. For example, place yourself meeting a stranger at Home Depot dressed all nasty and informal. Many people's first thoughts would be, I don't want to talk to that person because they're dressed all nasty. Little does that person know, that ugly dressed person could be a father. They're buying some paint to paint his daughter's room, and is only dressed that way so they wouldn't get their clothes nasty with paint stains. Secondly, a person's first impression has a major impact on one's self. If this is one thing that is very hard to disregard when meeting a person for the first time. You must realize that they may not have the same values and opinions as you do. Of course, you would love for everyone you meet to have and believe in everything that you believe in, but that isn't the way the world works. And people are free to make their own decisions and have their own opinions about things. For example, what if you meet a person that strongly believes in another religion or faith than you do? Initially, you might question yourself on being friends with that person or not, because they may constantly be rambling about how much their choice of religion is better than compared to your others or yours. But you have to consider about how they may have been raised and respect their beliefs too. Furthermore, you must evaluate that person in that first impression and see what type of tone the conversation took, if you spoke at all, or recognize any positive body language. For a good question to ask yourself after meeting someone new is, would that person be a good or bad role model for you to follow or interact with? Would you consider that person and how they act, how they talk, and how they treat others? No one wants to be around someone who acts crazy, uses foul language all the time, and has a negative attitude. Nor would anyone want to be around a person that is boring, is two-faced, and is a pushover. In my opinion, you should look for a person in the middle, or a person that has similar qualities to you, but not limited to that. One understanding that I understand that first impressions can be very stressful and overwhelming for both parties. It's not easy to open up and talk to strangers. It's just something that humans struggle with. Okay, this might help. Picture a first impression as being a new book or a movie trailer. You open up the book or watch the synopsis of the movie and capture what the movie or book is about. Say you don't enjoy the synopsis or trailer, but a friend recommended you the book or movie and told you that it was phenomenal. What do? Do you continue to read, watch the book or movie, or do you give up and forget about it? See, here's where many people jump to conclusions too fast and don't take the time to think properly. If your friend recommended it to you and your friend has the same taste in books and movies as you do, you'll probably like it, right? But instead, most people will let their arrogance get the best of them and fail to think about what they may be losing out on watching a good movie or a good book. See, the movie book example applies to first impressions because that first impression is like reading the synopsis of a person and seeing, because you only get to see a snippet of that person's life. And that kind of scares people. But people have to realize that that stranger, for that brief moment that they met, may be the most genuine person they've ever come into contact with. All in all, I believe that first impressions can be judged accordingly for job interviews and formal things like that. But people shouldn't be so fast to judge people's first impressions with everyday life. With that being said, I'll leave you with this question. Is meeting a down-to-earth person, having a great conversation, and having the possibility of a future friendship/relationship with someone worth setting aside judgment just for a brief moment? Because to me, it most definitely is. Thank you.